And welcome everybody here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. I'm your host with the most, who wishes he was on the West Coast because it's freaking cold here in the Midwest, Andrew Valentin. I am joined, of course, by my correspondents here. To the right of me is a man who once again is joining us for an episode that will soon be aired, I promise you. But it's Chris Ruseski. Chris, thank you so much for joining. I did get that last name right again.
Yes, you got it right.
Sweet. All right, Chris, how you doing, man?
All right, real good.
Awesome, man. It's great to have you back again, man, to talk some more baseball and talk some more sports, man. Appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right, and next to him, of course, is the man who's no longer wearing his apparel, but he's still rocking those amazing sunglasses that can just look into my eyes and at all the time thanks to the mirror look on him. It's Kevin Berger, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin, how you doing today, man?
Yeah, Andrew, I know. I'm disappointing everybody today. I didn't bring the dope hat today. I'm really sorry. But, Andrew, take a look at the weather this way. I mean, yeah, it's about, 0 degrees outside today? I mean, a month ago, we were dealing with, 40 below zero.
True.
So, you know what? It's almost shorts weather.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I mean, it's still cold outside, though.
Yeah, but, it always could be worse.
It's true.
I mean, we could be California where actually, you know what? No, we could be California because half the state's on fire and the other half is buried between 8,000 gallons of water and mud.
Not to mention the ground shakes all the time, too. So, I mean, do you really want to deal with that?
Oh, don't even get me started on the taxes.
We're not even going to go there.
All right. The only state that's worse than Illinois when it comes to taxes.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a fun show for you today. We're covering a whole lot. We've got baseball, we've got football, we've got basketball, and so much more we're going to be covering here. So you guys ready to dive into this?
Let's do it.
As long as we're doing full contact checkers, let's do it.
Full contact checkers. King me! I love it. Well, the first thing we're going to hit, ladies and gentlemen, it is Bryce Harper. That's right. The man has officially signed his contract with the Philadelphia Phillies. That's right. The Philadelphia Phillies have given him a 13-year, $330 million contract to now be their new left fielder. He now has an opt-out after 5 years in that contract as well.
I thought he didn't have an opt-out.
No, you don't have an
opt-out.
opt-out.
He doesn't have an opt-out.
No opt-out.
Never
He's
mind.
there for 13 years.
He's there for 13 years, locked inside deal.
Shit.
Oh, man.
No trade count.
I
no
thought
trade
I
clause.
thought I had heard the whole opt-out thing. I guess
No, I think you're thinking of Machado.
maybe yeah. You know what? I probably am.
He ain't shit.
All right. Well, obviously this is a very big thing. I mean, this is some serious money. It's a serious contract he's getting here. So, Chris, I want to start with you. Who do you think won in this deal? Is this a situation where you think the Phillies won this, or is this where Harper won this? What are you feeling?
I'm thinking the Phillies won it. I mean, you got Bryce Harper for 13 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and $330 million isn't that much, really, for 13 years.
Yeah, it comes out to $25 million per year. So.
And you got him now.
Right.
He's yours. But that's also, I think, going to recruit maybe other players to come to Philly.
Right, yeah. Well, you've already definitely heard a few bumps in here and there within the rumor mill. There's been talks now that the Angels have sent a message to the MLB that Harper, apparently they're calling him out for tampering, for talking to Mike Trout just before he had signed the contract to play with the Philadelphia Phillies. So there's a lot of big controversy now stirring around that, potentially as, certainly, and this certainly does affect Mike Trout in terms of what his future is going to be like with the Angels and things like that. But, yeah, no, you definitely bring up a good point there, Chris.
Well, Mike Trout is he's a homegrown Philly guy.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I guess Bryce Harper and him played down in the Arizona Fall League.
Yep.
So, they're pretty good buddies.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That'd be a nice outfield, though.
Oh, that not only would that be probably one of the most expensive outfields we'd probably ever see, but that would definitely be a deadly combination. I mean, you're talking about two of those guys, top 3, top 4 in the lineup. I mean, that's a nasty combination. Kevin, what do you think? Who do you think won in this deal here?
Mike Trout.
Okay, all right. Why is that?
Because if Bryce Harper, which, guys, I'm going to precipice this by saying this, so don't get mad at me, Scott Boras.
Here we go.
Bryce Harper is a nice player. He's a really nice player.
Yeah.
I'd say he's top 3 players in the league.
Okay.
Mike Trout, if he retired right now, there's arguments that he could be a Hall of Famer right now.
Oh, yeah.
That man is a once-in-a-generation talent. So if Bryce Harper can get paid 13 years, $330, how much do you think Mike Trout's going to rake in?
Yeah, that's
Mike Trout could be the first $400 million player.
Possibly.
And that's why I think also I agree with Chris that the Phillies won this because Scott Boras started talking about this 2-3 years ago that,
Right.
Bryce Harper's going to be the first $400 million athlete and blah, 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 blah. Well, I mean, if $400 million was the absolute goal, then, I mean, I'm not going to say the Phillies got off with paying him nickels and dimes, because they obviously didn't. But compared to what Scott Boras said even as far back as 2 seasons ago, that in the aftermath of Bryce Harper's MVP season, that this is what he's going to be looking at, I'd say the Phillies won that, but no, in all, Mike Trout won this deal. But in terms of Bryce Harper, guys, Bryce Harper's not going to play out this full contract. We all know that. You're not going to be an outfielder. Like, this contract's going to expire by the time he's like 40 or 41.
Yeah.
He's not. I guarantee you he'll play half that and then either ask for a trade or he'll retire. Especially if the Phillies get a World Series or 2 out of it.
Well, and that's the hope, is that you're paying, 13 years, $330 million. I mean, by my projections,
Guaranteed.
by my own projections, I would say you're hoping that kind of payout brings you at least 1 World Series, maybe 2. Like, you're hoping to probably max out as many as you possibly can, and certainly. But I'm thinking the average you should be hitting for is at least 2 with that sort of money being paid out. I mean, this is when you're paying that kind of money, to me, that says, okay, then this is a caliber of player that should be winning you championships left and right. Now, he didn't really do that with Washington. Obviously, he wasn't getting paid that with
Also,
Washington.
to be fair, the Nationals could never really get over that hump, because their position players weren't good enough, their pitching staff wasn't good enough outside of Strasburg and, oh my God, who am I forgetting? I know his...
Scherzer?
Yes, Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
Other than Scherzer and Strasburg, they never really had a great pitching staff. I mean, they had a nice pitching staff. It wasn't anything...
Yeah, their bullpen was kind of subject at times.
Yeah, and not to mention the number of injuries that would occur to many of their position
including
players
Bryce
at the
Harper.
wrong time, including Bryce Harper.
And let's not forget when him and Jonathan Papelbon decided to throw hands in the dugout.
Yeah, right, yeah. So, and that's also a big question too, is what kind of teammate is Bryce Harper? Because from what I've heard, there's a lot of mixture between what kind of player he really is. I mean, I've heard he's a really cool teammate and stuff, but sometimes he doesn't really like to connect with the guys. I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard anything different. What do you think, Chris? Do you think this is going to be a perfect matchup type of situation, or is this going to probably be a little rough?
I don't know. I think if you're on the Phillies, I think you're probably happy that he's there and probably embrace him. Well, at least the first year.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's got. I mean, it's Bryce Harper.
Right, yeah. You would hope that puts a little pep in everybody's step.
Yeah.
And not only that, too, but, I mean, you look at the Phillies, they're not too shy. I mean, you had Hoskins, who he hit over 30 home runs. I mean, he didn't have the greatest batting average, but, again, 30 home runs, you're looking at a pretty strong hitter there. You've got a couple other guys who hit over 20 in Carlos Santana and Maikel Franco. I hope I said his first name right.
That's going to get better too, Andrew, because we saw, I mean, even just the Cubs locally, the Cubs hardly ever pitched to Bryce Harper. So guess what? All those pitches that would normally go to Bryce, they're going to have to go to somebody.
Right.
So some of these guys, they're going to get more opportunities to contribute. And from what I've seen about Bryce Harper, there's one thing it seems like to me you never had to question, that's his effort.
Yeah.
The man tries whenever he's out there.
I think he tried a little too much towards the end of the season.
Yes.
Only because I think he was getting walked in the first half, and the second half they're like,
frustrated.
Yeah, we're just not going to pitch to him,
Right.
so I'm going to swing at anything I can try to get.
Hey, he was frustrated.
Yeah.
Because how can, not even just the free agency standpoint, that's no fun.
Right.
As a baseball player, especially at that point, you're basically being confined to only doing one thing, and that's basically just playing the outfield, because they've taken the bat effectively out of your hands. That's no fun.
Right.
I don't think they're going to be able to do that now in Philly.
No,
I think they got a little bit more of a power hitting staff, and
Really nice that Harper's a lefty as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, well, in this, not only that, but the starting core of this, at least for last year, the starting core of this Phillies team, only one guy, Carlos Santana, was over the age of 30. Everybody else is under that age. So you're talking about a very young team now you're stepping in there with. And potentially, I mean, last year, not a strong, pretty decent, but not a strong way they wanted to go, 80 and 82. They had a great run there for a while, and then they sort of dipped off there at the end.
Yeah, they were
just at the wrong moment, too.
Yeah, I thought for sure they're going to catch Atlanta for. I mean,
that's what I was thinking. I thought they were going to.
They were right there,
and
all of a sudden they just, I don't know, they tanked.
Yeah, and it's obviously Atlanta. They've got a lot of competition to fight through them, and Harper can definitely, I think, be sort of that X factor that maybe can get them over the hump and get them into that position where they can win the division. But it's a tough fight. I mean, they've got their own young players down there in Atlanta, and they've got more coming up still too. So there's a stacked talent coming here. But I mean, for Philly, I mean, the good thing is they've got a pretty decent pitching there too. I mean, you've got Aaron Nola, obviously Jake Arrieta's there as well.
Yep, forgot about Jake Arrieta.
Not only that, but Zach Eflin, he was a big surprise for them as well. So they've got some decent guys. Their bullpen's pretty well-rounded for the most part. They still got to figure out, I think, their closer situation. I think that's still a question mark they've kind of posed out.
I think that's half the teams in the league.
So yeah, that's pretty much everybody in the
Everybody's kind of
MLB.
going through that right now. But
Unless you have Chapman.
yeah, but what are you guys' expectations now that Harper is in there for Philly? I mean, what are you guys thinking that Philly can do? I mean, not so much Harper, but in terms of the team overall, what are you feeling they can do?
I think that they got a good chance of. I don't think they're going to win the division because Atlanta's really strong still.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they have a chance at a wild card maybe.
Yeah.
You know, I think if with the power, with the batters that they have, and then you put Harper into it,
right,
which is decent pitching staff. If they can get something out of their bullpen, I think that kind of tanked them last year was back end help they needed.
Right.
I think they could be a contender in maybe 2 or 3 years.
Okay. All right. Kevin, what do you think?
I'd say something along those lines as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's going to gel year one. Because, Andrew, as you said, not only are they getting new additions in Bryce Harper, they still got a bunch of young talent that they still have to bring up and stuff like that to really get the rest of this team where they want it to be. So I'd say about 2-3 years, you're going to be looking at a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's...
If everybody develops as well as they anticipate and Harper fits as well as they anticipated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the hard sell point right now is, like, what are the Phillies going to do now to also add to this? Because obviously you've just given this man a ton of money, but you also want to make sure to build more with it. And Chris, you mentioned it. This is going to be a nice attraction for other free agents out there. I mean, we've already said Mike Trout, who knows what he can be doing. He's a free agent in 2020. But there's so many others out there that potentially could be looking at this and saying, that's a pretty sweet deal they got there. They got some decent pitching. Now you've got Harper there. He's a strong kid. You know he's one of top, like you said, top 3, top 5 maybe in the league in terms of baseball players. So there's a chance that maybe Philly could potentially build a contender. But it is hard, though, because we don't know exactly what they're going to be.
That's a tough division, too.
It's a very tough division. It's a lot of young kids stepping in there right now. And Harper, we've kind of seen him drop off little by little. The numbers have stayed steady in where it seems to count, but he's, he struggles every now and then. It seems like whenever he's trying to hit more home runs and therefore he's striking out more. He finished with like a 250 average, which isn't where exactly you want him to be. Even though he did hit 30 home runs and 100 RBIs and stuff, it's still tough to kind of be sold on it completely, I think.
Do you guys think that Andrew, do you think there's a direct correlation into his home runs and RBIs because now he knows that he isn't going to get as many pitches to hit and chances to hit because teams are just taking the bat out of his hands?
That's a tough one. I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's tough to say because I want to believe. Well, I mean, this is a guy that obviously wants to be like the hero. He wants to get every single pitch at him he possibly can to try and be the guy that can either put the score on the board, win the game, whatever it is. So it's a tough call. I don't know, Chris.
Yeah, I definitely think he's a gamer.
Yeah,
and I think he's trying. Like I said earlier, he's trying. I think too hard. I mean, just let it come to you. I mean, I don't think Washington had that good of a rotation, and at least hitting wise.
Yeah.
Where I think now they're gonna have to pitch to him because there's a guy behind him that can hit a homer. There's a guy ahead of him that can hit a homer. So you just put him in the middle there, and they're gonna have to pitch to one of those 3 guys.
It's a lot more balanced of a lineup as well.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't understand why a lot of people were saying that he could go to the Dodgers. That was one of my biggest complaints. And the Dodgers already have had enough left-handed bats.
Yeah, it would have been a very overloaded situation going on there in that lineup, certainly. That's a big thing too. Is obviously there's a lot of teams now that missed out on that opportunity, and you kind of wonder what happened, what went wrong. I mean, we were hearing. First off, the first thing that was always popping up that I was seeing was certainly, obviously, the Cubs situation. I mean, there was all the talk that he was going to go to the Cubs. There was an individual that even
I think only the Cubs said he wasn't coming there.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, he certainly seemed like he was very interested in coming here, or at least being. I mean, he was even willing to listen to offers from the White Sox as well, because certainly they have a lot of money that they could certainly have thrown at him. I mean,
and of course they didn't do it.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, who knows what could have happened there? But clearly, I guess the White Sox don't have the money either, do they?
Oh no, they do. It's just a certain person whose first name starts with Rose and ends with Dorf didn't want to.
Well, I think the White Sox, what they do is they do the incentive clause.
Yes. Yeah.
They'll give you a boatload of money, but you got to perform for it.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like.
No, it's not that bad of a deal, honestly.
I like that too, guys, but some of those incentives they had on Machado's were utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was in year 5, if he had 500 plate appearances, then he'd get an extra X amount of $1 million in year 6.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, at that time in year 5, Machado was going to be 31 years old.
All right.
So
and you don't know what kind of player he's going to be.
And you're not going to be having a 31-year-old that's not basically playing either first base or the outfield
batting
that many times.
Yeah.
Even when you're in your 20s, you're probably not getting that many at-bats.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm with Chris though. I like the incentive thing, but you're all right. There's a lot of things in there that they can kind of be like, all right, maybe you can kind of nix that out. Like, maybe can we just like give him a little bit more of that money, front load it a little bit more, like. But no, the incentive, I think that is a smart move, because obviously the one thing you always have to remember when you're paying for these kind of guys, you're paying for last year's product. In any sport, you're always paying for last year's product, and you never know what you're going to get out of them. You're hoping, the Phillies are hoping that the Bryce Harper they're getting now is going to be the guy that hits 30 home runs, has 110 plus RBIs, but also, hits 300, wins the NL MVP, and takes them to a World Series. That's what that's their prediction, and they're hoping to get that past guy that came in and dominated as a young player.
Oh, everything looks good on paper.
Exactly.
In the spring and in the winter.
Yeah. Everything looks nice until you finally get into competition.
Yeah, that's why we play the games.
If in the first 30 games he's like at a 185 with, 5 home runs and, only 20 RBIs, they're going to be kicking themselves in and saying, well, what the hell did we pay all that money for?
Can we please get a petition to shorten the MLB season? Guys, 162 is too damn long.
I enjoy it. I'm a big
162 games, Andrew.
I'm not going to sit in the stands for all of those, I can tell you that.
They should go back to the olden days when they used to play the doubleheaders on Sundays.
I would be fine with that. I would be okay.
I don't get why these $1 million babies are crying about doubleheaders. Oh, we got to play 2 games.
Thank you, yes.
Well, do you know what's actually kind of funny, guys? Speaking of $1 million, they've been preparing for a couple of years that they say in all likelihood that there's going to be a work stoppage.
That's right, yeah. They've been saying
after this current CBA is up, that they said that in all likelihood there's going to be a work stoppage in the MLB. And it's not just the MLB, because they're thinking in NFL as well. I mean, I know, don't want to get too much off topic, but those are going to be 2 big leagues if they have work stoppages. Well, so that's going to be a big deal.
And this also affects it too, because now, not to step away from Harper, but certainly you just paid Harper all this money. The Padres just paid Machado all this money.
Yep.
And if after 1 year there's a work stoppage, all of a sudden you've paid these guys this money, and now what are you going to do? You're kind of stuck in this position until something breaks.
Work? Let's say I got a hypothetical scenario for you guys.
Okay.
Right. So hypothetically, let's say the work stoppage in the MLB, let's say it lasts an entire full season. Let's say it goes an entire season.
Okay.
Does that year get removed from their contracts, or does it get added on because the MLB didn't even have the start of the year? How does that work?
That's tough.
That is a good question.
Yeah, that's really good to ask. I'm not really sure about that. That's a very good question, though.
We need to get one of our interns on that.
Yeah. Well,
wait. Tom's back there. We can put him to work.
Yeah. He's been out of commission for a little while. I don't know why or where he's been.
He's probably not even paying attention.
He's not even focused. Sorry. We'll mention that later on. But yeah, no, that is a good question though. I don't really know what would happen to that whole situation. It feels like I can't even guess what would probably happen. Like, it's interesting though because
that means that team gets a bonus year almost.
Yeah. So and then the players would probably be even more upset.
They'll be like, "No, that's not what I signed up for."
Yeah, exactly.
All I know is that the
All
White
those
Sox are going to be looking forward to Eloy Jimenez. That's what I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to.
definitely. But with this whole, I mean, obviously Harper, he's got. There's a lot more that still has to be played into this, but I mean, there's a lot of heavy expectations on this guy. I mean, and I want to jump it to you guys now. I mean, what are your expectations on what do you think Harper's going to be able to do this season, and maybe for the next 13 years? It seems like going in Philly. I mean, what do you guys
that's such
think?
an unlucky number.
Yeah, it's a really unfortunate to come up with that kind of contract year. Like I thought they would come up with like 20 or 15 or something like that. No, you hit him with 13. Like what made it so? I guess maybe it worked out in the end. I don't know. It came out perfectly. I guess I don't know. But Chris, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking he possibly is going to be at least a 25, 30 guy, home run guy.
Okay.
I think his average is going to go up if they keep the dynamics of the team together. Yeah. You got to keep your core group. Mm-hmm. I think if they keep that core group together and just add little by little,
yeah,
I think Harper's going to definitely pay off for him.
Yeah.
And I believe he could have a good year.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't gotten hurt as much as some of the other guys, so I think he could have a pretty good career in Philly.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Kevin. What about you? What are you thinking?
That's the biggest thing is Harper going to be healthy?
Mm-hmm.
If Harper's going to be healthy, I could see him around 25, 30 home runs again.
Yeah.
I'll say his batting average because he was at he finished like what last year, like 252, 258, something like that. He finished in like the 250s, I believe,
He finished
right?
249, 250, somewhere in that range.
So I'll say I bet his batting average gets a boost up a little bit. I could see him like 270, 280. I'd say a hair under 300.
Okay.
And 110 RBIs plus. I especially with as talented of a lineup as Philly has.
Yeah.
They haven't really had a lot of problems getting guys on base, and Bryce Harper knows what to do when guys are on base, so he'll be able to power it home and get them in.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's the tough thing when it comes to Bryce Harper. I mean, I like the player. I think he's fantastic, but for me, I mean, I'm too much of an over-analyst, so I break down a lot of stuff. One of the big things, certainly, is he going to be healthy? I mean, he seems like he's a very strong, sturdy kid. I think he can withstand a lot of the punishment. Certainly, I think a lot of pitchers are going to be gunning for him. I think he may feel a little bit of sweet chin music now that he's, the $100 million, big boy now in town. He's the highest paid player, so I think a lot of them are going to try to teach him, who's boss here and there and stuff.
Oh, for God's sake. Enough with these unwritten rules. They're unwritten for a reason because they're bullshit. Seriously, guys, this is the only sport I know where an acceptable form where, if someone accidentally shows off a little bit or if you don't like somebody, it is actually acceptable to take a ball and throw it at 100 miles an hour at them, and you won't get punished for it.
Well, you get punished. You get fined for it. You get punished, but
please. A fine. How much was it? 25,000? No, none of them care. That's a slap on the wrist. That's
some of them.
That's a night out at a steakhouse for some of them. Are you kidding me?
I mean, it's always been that's the thing. It's been so long in the game that
Okay, guess what? It's 2019. It's not 1890.
Don't get me started about those unwritten rule things, because the whole shifting and then hitting the opposite way, everybody gets mad at him.
Yeah.
Or why'd you hit opposite way? I'm like, okay, last time I checked, there's the old saying, hit them where they ain't. So guess what? If you have six guys, if I'm Bryce Harper and I'm a left-handed bat, and you have 7 of your 9 players all on the left side of second base,
right?
And there's one guy standing over basically next to second base because he's not guarding the third baseline. Do you know what I would do, guys, to piss the opponents off? This is really gonna be, you know what? Let me just do a bunt down the third baseline.
And that pisses everybody off.
That's the one thing. My father, he's in his 70s. He's watched baseball all his life. He played baseball, all that stuff. He loves the sport. But he never understands with this whole shifting. He's like, why don't they just bunt it the opposite way? Send the ball the other way.
Well, look what happened last year in Baltimore.
Yeah.
There was a no-hitter going.
Right.
Exactly.
He bunts He bunts to where there is nobody into a shift,
Right.
and they get mad at him.
Yeah, exactly.
So what did they throw at him the next time around?
I think it was just a lot of.
Well,
Or,
everybody
it
was
was-
just
it
kind
was-
of like
yeah, it was-
booing
Or,
and
or
upset
the
and
whole
stuff.
thing with the bat flip, like the bat flip.
I don't get under.
Like what was it? It was a Jose Bautista a couple
yeah,
years ago
Bautista
when
in
he
Toronto.
when he hit that walk off in
Yeah.
Toronto
Yeah.
that sent Toronto to the playoffs. And then the next year, at like the first time those two teams saw each other, dude just beams him.
Yeah.
For no reason at all. I'm like, okay, guess what? Excuse him for being excited that he literally just made an entire stadium rock and that he just sent his team to the playoffs.
Well, then you
As
get-
far as I'm concerned, this whole, they're showing up the pitcher, no. It's called, guess what? If you don't want a guy to show you up, don't let him hit a home run off of you and throw a better pitch. Don't hang a breaking ball on a 2-2 count in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Hey, Chapman strikes somebody out and he's fist pumping.
Right. Yeah. So why can't you flip the
Yeah,
bat?
why not?
I mean, look, I pitched before and I have no problem with it. I mean, would I get a little peeved from that? Yeah, but I would think that's only gonna help me a little bit. That's only gonna make me be like, all right, then I'm just gonna make sure to strike his ass out.
Strike him out.
the next
Yeah.
time around.
I don't understand why.
It's the same thing that I said with Cam Newton and all the teams complained about. What was it 2-3 years ago when Cam won the MVP when he was dancing in the end zone all the
Yeah,
time?
when he
I'm
was
like, guess
doing the
what? I'm like, defenses, if you guys don't want Cam to dance, don't let him score.
He even said it. He's like, you don't want me to dance in the end zone? Fine. Don't get me in there. Don't let me in the end zone. It's simple as that.
Just like running up the scores. Oh, you're running up the scores. Well,
No, you're
stop
not.
us.
Yeah.
It's the offense's job to score in any sport.
I remember what was it? I saw an article about something. It was a high school team. I know we're way off topic, guys. I apologize, but
this is a good conversation.
no, it's fine. But it was something about two Kentucky high school teams, and it was like one of them won the game like 72 to like 20 or something. It was a high school football game, and the other coach was like, was asked the question, "Why did you run up the score?" And he's like, well, I put my backups in, and they were feeling good, and they just found a way to win. How can I be blamed for letting the other kids play, and then they decide to score?
Yeah.
It's not my fault. The other team can't score any points.
Well, and especially in a game, if it's like a game like football or hockey, guys,
Yeah.
if you go out of your way to not play the game, that's when someone's going to get hurt.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it could be like that we talked about before, that soccer match where you've only got 7 players out there,
Jesus.
and you lose 21 to
That
nothing.
was terrible.
Because you can't pay your other players, and they all go on strike. So, I mean, but you can't get upset about that kind of stuff. That's all. I mean, yeah, I think it's easy for me to kind of sit here and say that because obviously I'm not a professional baseball player. I don't know what that mentality is like to be on the mound, have a guy show off and stuff like that. Maybe I would get upset
Be
and
better.
throw at him. I don't know.
Be better.
But my mentality would say, just strike him out the next time he's up. It's that simple. Don't get mad and chuck a pitch at him to put him on base and potentially start a fight.
Or,
'Cause
then,
I don't want to get punched in the face by like Jose Abreu or somebody like that. I don't need that.
or then of course there's the classic response. Oh, you hit one of my guys.
Yeah.
We get to hit one of your guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that? You just gave them a free base for no reason.
Right.
Well, what we like to do back when I played ball was walk the guy, and then when you go to pick him off, you ding him while he's diving back to
Oh,
first.
so you pitch down to him when he's sliding back to the base?
Yeah.
I like that.
Makes
actually.
sense to me.
I wish I would have known about that as a kid, because man, I would have done that to so many dudes that tried to run on me.
I did it once.
I might have. You know what? I know I definitely accidentally threw at a kid on accident. I know that, and he didn't like it very much, and he tried to run at me. But luckily, the coach caught him and swung him. It was when we were like 6 years old. It was adorable, and I laughed at him for it. And man, he was so upset because
Dang, Andrew! I thought you were about to say that you went all Nolan Ryan on him.
No,
where you
no,
just gave
no.
the kid a noogie. Just
not. I did have that incident happen in high school, but it wasn't where I like put the guy in the headlock. But I definitely.
Were you the guy that was in the headlock?
No, we were the guys that were like scrounging on the ground, like ready to beat each other up, followed by the rest of our players like running at it, and then me almost getting I almost got suspended by high school because I got in a fight at a baseball game at our high school, and I was like, "What's this about?" I don't know. It's ridiculous, and they're just like, "It's threatening." I'm like, "Whatever." I threw at him. He got upset. He charged me. What do you want me to do? Nothing. I'm gonna defend myself no matter what. All right. Real quick before we get out of here on this baseball stuff, now that we're coming back around to it, now that Bryce Harper's been signed, there's obviously still a lot of free agents that are sitting out there. What do you think this does now for the free agency market? Do you think that this is going to speed it along and we're going to see some big signings happen, or do you think that do you think it's going to stay pretty steady throughout till maybe like the beginning of the season, you think?
Yeah, I think teams are going to see what they have right now in spring training, and then they'll plug in whatever they need later on.
Right.
You know, I think you're not going to see a lot of guys until almost April, if not into mid-April.
Yeah.
Only because, you don't know what you got, and
Right.
guys are going to want money.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Dallas Keuchel is still sitting out there, and he's waiting for that big cash, apparently, according to
Rick
his agent,
Hahn,
so.
please, please, I beseech thee.
See, but guys like him, he wants years over money.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
he's-
Give them to him.
Because nobody wants to give pitchers years.
Right now, he is better than every single pitcher except Michael Kopech that the White Sox had.
But is he going to be good for 6 years down the road?
I don't
that
care.
he
If he's
wants?
good for 4, I'm happy.
That's the thing is a lot of people have brought up Keuchel going to the White Sox. Could he be like their John Lester? I'd like to say yes, but I mean he's had so many injuries in the past now that it's
So
tough
John
to kind of
Lester.
sell on. I know he's a Cy Young caliber pitcher,
Right,
At
but
least
you're
he was in
also
the
looking
past,
at
but
you're
he's
looking
up
at
in
James
age.
Shields.
Exactly. Yeah, look at how that
You want to
deal
do that
went.
again?
We gave them Fernando Tatis Jr. and look at what he's becoming for
Okay,
the Padres.
Okay, first of all, that was just a plain stupid because James Shields wasn't even that good on the Padres either.
No,
Like he wasn't even all that on the Padres, so that was just them being stupid.
Yeah. I mean, that was them thinking they were going to get a bargain deal, and it didn't work. All right, well, you guys can let us know. What do you think about the Bryce Harper situation? Do you guys think that this was a good signing? What do you think the Phillies are going to be able to do?
He's
What do you
still
think
ain't
Harper's
shit.
going to do? And what do you think's going to happen to future free agents now down the line with Harper getting this big money? You guys can let us know in the comment section down below. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick commercial break here. We're going to have the Game Links Esports live show. Chris, thank you so much for joining us, man. It was
Thank
a
you for
pleasure
having
talking
me.
baseball. We hope to have you on again here real soon, man, to talk more sports here. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin,
And I'm Kat.
and welcome to the Game Links Esports Update brought to you by X-Bomb Productions. Now, first in gaming news. NBC Bay Area is bringing Street Fighter V to local television in a tournament between Southern California and Northern California's best Street Fighter players who will duke it out on Saturday night live from Oakland and Santa Ana. Because who doesn't want to see the two opposite ends of California beat each other up for our amusement? Gearbox Software will be holding an event at PAX East 2019 with 2K for never-before-seen reveals. So naturally, this could only mean one thing. Borderlands 3? ?
Fortnite's rival Apex Legends has reached 50 million players within the first month. And Sony has officially stopped producing the PS Vita.
A moment of silence for the PlayStation Vita.
In Overwatch news, the new character Baptiste has been released. Fans classify him as an overpowered healer and support character.
And in the latest Switch news, Nintendo has now officially launched the preview trailer for the new Pokemon game Sword and Shield and have released the 3 starter Pokemon. The grass type, Grookey, who looks like Beast Boy if he was a Pokemon. Sobel, the water type, who just looks like a derpy version of a seal. And Scorbunny, who might as well have just been Baneri smushed together with Torchic and called a new Pokemon.
In other gaming news, EA wants to shut down BioWare. Due to the hate towards BioWare's previous game, Mass Effect Andromeda, and with their newest title, Anthem, not delivering, EA is talking about shutting down the game developing studio. Despite Anthem receiving unfair hate due to being an EA title, BioWare is pushing through the animosity by being very transparent about future developments in the game. With all DLCs in the future set to be free and new content coming in the next 3 months, we will see how Anthem pans out.
This has been your Game Links Esports Update brought to you by X-Bomb Productions. On behalf of Kat, I'm Kevin, and we will see you next time.
Welcome back, everybody,
wearing
here to the
green.
X-Bomb Sports Live.
Yes!
Welcome back, everybody, here to the X-Bomb Sports
This is
Live
great.
show.
It actually looks better. It actually looks better on the screen.
It looks like you've got like the Winter Classic jersey.
I think it looks
on.
better on there. To be
Nah,
honest.
it's actually dude. My hat's got green in it too. Oh, God's sake. Dude, St. Patty's Day's coming up.
Tom is back for all of 1 minute, and he's already single-handedly ruined.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Tom McKinney.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Please stop.
Side note, he was hiding in the closet the whole time.
He wouldn't let me out.
No, I wouldn't, because all you wanted to do was talk hockey, and I'm like, we have to talk
Dude,
other
the
things.
most exciting part. The Bulls are terrible.
Yes, except it's fun to make fun of them.
I'm outnumbered here by loudness. It's this is not good. This is not good. All right.
Did you see the rant last week?
No, dude, I haven't. Dude,
Oh,
I've been
man.
moving. I was moving last week.
That's right. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Tom McKinney, he is back.
Couldn't get rid of me.
Tom, it's good to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see how this one goes. And
NFL.
We're going to pour into the NFL here as we get into the NFL free agency. And we're going to have a little game here at the end of it. But first, free agency. Guys, you ready to get into this?
Are we going to talk about the combine, too?
Not combine yet. Next
What?
week. I know. Next week I have planned for NFL draft stuff.
But I had like a whole thing prepared on Kyler Murray.
No, I can't go too far into that because I might give stuff away for my fantasy draft here in a few weeks.
Jesus. All right, fine.
And we don't want you getting in trouble with
No,
the
I don't want
commissioner,
Roger
do you?
Goodell Jr. to come after me.
I mean, he ain't shit, so it don't matter.
All
It
right.
don't matter. It matters to me.
All right, well, you guys ready to do this?
Sure.
All right, let's do this. Well, we're going to talk about some of the top free agents out there right now. Obviously, number one on the list right now, standing out there, is Le'Veon Bell.
Yep.
There's all the talk on where he's going to go.
To the Jets.
There's so much, all these different teams that could potentially land. So, guys, where are you feeling that Le'Veon Bell's going to land? Kevin, you want to start this one off, man?
I mean, the leading candidates right now it's the Jets. I mean, that's what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
Do you know what's actually funny, guys? I actually heard this morning. I actually didn't think about this until I heard it this morning.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Texans?
No.
That's...
You okay over there?
Yeah, sorry. Something came up there. It went back down, but we're all good.
Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, Will Fuller, if you plug Le'Veon Bell in there, all of a
Notice
sudden the
that name he
Texans
did
have a
say?
running game.
You know what name he did say?
What's that?
Will Fuller.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I
you're
said
back.
Will Fuller.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Notre Dame all day, baby.
So good to have him back. No, that's that's an interesting concept. I didn't ever thought of the Texans. I don't
Exactly.
know.
I didn't either.
I don't know if that'll work though, because certainly they have to. I mean, they're paying a lot to DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
You're gonna have to think about what you're gonna do. I mean,
But-
certainly Deshaun Watson still has some years on him, so you don't have to worry about that contract yet. But it's tough.
But again, we do have to consider that right now the Jets are able to pay him the most
Right,
money, and
yes.
he's already said that he is going to go to the team that's going to pay him the most money. All of us know that.
Right. And you got a young quarterback there too, so it does help. All right.
Yeah.
Tom, what are you thinking?
I'm throwing two teams out there. I'm going
Okay.
to be a little homer biased here. I think the Bears are going to pull the trigger on this and somehow.
Whoa!
How?
Hold on. I don't know how. I just think they're going to pull the trigger on this somehow.
You know, and
You almost made him drop his phone.
You know, and see, I thought Tom here was going to work some of his sources that he has, but
He
apparently not.
just-
He's just pulling it out of
he's
his ass.
he's
No,
got to
no.
just come with crazy.
I think
All right,
they're
keep
going to they're going to trade Howard
Okay.
for draft picks and cash,
Okay.
and they're going to just have the right pitch
Mhm.
to him, and he'll like it here. He'll want to come play in a big market. He'll want to play with a team that will potentially help win him a Super Bowl,
Okay.
and I think he'll come here.
Okay.
Now, obviously, that's a little homer bias. I know.
Right. Yeah.
The one team I truly think he'll go to, who just lost their kicker/running back to the
Mhm.
Browns, is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh, that's interesting. Nobody's saying anything on that, and you put him in that system with Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, Travis Kelsey.
Okay.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
back.
I'll give you
I'll
some for
give
that.
You that one.
I'm back,
That's
baby.
actually because that right there, I would think, puts the Chiefs. I mean, they were already 15-1, and that offense was so explosive. Now, the big thing, obviously, though, is they need to upgrade that defense.
Yes.
So signing him, I don't know if that'll be a big priority. They certainly are going to probably go after because there's a lot of free.
a lot of defensive guys.
True, very true.
They might
There's
want to
very
go
true.
draft. That defense is old. Why would you want to go get older guys?
Well, because the big thing
Is they're ready to? They're set up.
they're
to win
ready.
now.
Yes, they're
But
ready to go get that Super
That
Bowl.
offense is set up to win maybe 2 years from now. Go draft some defensive guys so you're set up to win. Brady doesn't have many more years.
Right.
Brady, let's be honest. I truly thought Brady was going to
3.
retire after this season.
No.
I was wrong. I truly thought if he had won, he was going to retire.
Nope.
Even though he kept saying
I'm
it.
still interested to
He'll
see.
die
if
with a
Gro-
football in
Speak-
his
Speaking
hand.
of which, I'm gonna be interested to see if Gronk ends up retiring.
He won't.
Yeah.
I would.
I mean,
I mean, if I were you, him,
Yeah.
I would. But all right, so Brady doesn't have many more years.
Yeah.
Who knows how many more years Belichick wants to coach for?
right.
How about Belichick retires when Brady retires?
And who knows what happens with the Patriots organization after Robert Kraft's whole thing?
Oh.
Yeah, it's a toss up. yeah.
Well, you know what? That's actually something. If we can get into that later, I want to bring up a question to you guys. Later.
Okay.
But for the whole thing is, the Chiefs could take over that spot for at least a little bit
Mm-hmm.
if they go younger in this draft. Do what the Bears did.
So you're saying draft young guys,
Draft
build
young
them
guys.
up.
Have 2 bad coaches and a bad GM until you and then draft.
Not
But-
that one.
but hold on,
But he's
Andy-
saying in terms of
Andy
yeah.
Reid's not a bad coach.
No, that's not what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
I was being
he's
literal.
mocking,
I'm
yeah.
like, so you want them to follow the
No.
Bears' plan of having a bad
No,
GM,
but I'm talking-
2 bad head coaches.
Yeah.
No, because they don't
offense.
have the bad coach. Andy Reid's not a bad coach. I
He's
get what
a-
you're saying now.
He's a good coach, but just for some reason, when it comes to playing in that big game,
Yes.
that's always been his
You
biggest
can't
hump.
blame him for that because
No,
he was
I'm
going
not-
up against
I'm
the
not-
GOAT.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. You can't.
Go.
You can't. First off, I was at the United Center for that game. There was the questionable calls in both those 2 games.
Yes, there was.
But we already went into that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Jeez.
Yes.
But
Jesus Christ, yeah.
it really was. Dude.
Yeah.
I've been gone a month.
Go.
So for the Chiefs, you go the route of setting up your defense for the future, and then
Okay.
who knows? You find
Another-
maybe Joey Bosa is a free agent by that time. I'm not saying that he is, and I'm not saying he's at that caliber. But what I'm saying is
good.
he's a Khalil Mack big a big trade maybe, like it's his contract year or something
Yeah.
like that, and they don't want. They're like, oh, we can't re-sign him in San Diego, or sorry, Los Angeles.
yeah.
It's,
yeah.
it's San
Yeah.
Diego. Let's be honest.
And the Chiefs go, all right, well, we got our defense there,
Right.
but let's go get a big name guy.
Mm-hmm.
They're Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, and boom, now that team is.
It's not a, yeah, it's
They're
not a
still
bad idea.
they're still playoff caliber team
Right.
the whole time. They're not as bad as the Bears because that offense is just high fly. Not as bad. That's a bad thing to say. I love my team. Gotta hate Philly.
Their offense is better than the Bears, but their defense is nowhere near
Yes.
on
No,
the level
yeah.
of
Yes,
the Bears. Because let's be
exactly.
honest, guys, this year nobody's defense is on the level of the Bears. Let's be honest.
Dude, the Bears defense.
Only the Ravens
A religion to me.
statistically
Yes,
matched
agreed.
us, and even then it was hard to sell it because I saw more attacking from the Bears than you did.
But
with
how
the Ravens.
many Ravens games are you watching?
I mean, I only watched maybe 3. in
Exactly.
total.
So, like-
and that was because I was bored at work, and I'm like, oh, the Ravens are playing cool.
God, there were some bad primetime games this year.
They really were. All right.
Can we just get rid of Thursday night football?
Yeah,
I think
Right.
there was a lot of good Thursday night football matches. I think it was Monday night that was the worst.
Monday had
Well,
some bad
that
ones.
wasn't helped out by the broadcast there, which, thank God, Jason Witten has decided to return to the playing field so he can actually be good at something.
Can I vote for who I want right now?
Chad Johnson.
No, Pat McAfee.
I'd buy that. I'd go for that. I'm
Pat
all for
McAfee,
Pat.
let's go Barstool Sports
Yeah.
in the NFL. Let's go.
All right.
Bye. I got him to leave, guys. I've done my
Get
job.
back here. You're not done
Peace.
yet. All
But
right.
dude, think about it. Barstool Sports, the one organization that is literally outlawed in the NFL.
They-
We
Yeah.
saw
the
it at the
NFL
Super
wouldn't
Bowl.
allow it.
We saw it at the Super Bowl. The NFL has no right to not allow that.
Yeah, they would.
No, because it's ESPN. If ESPN hires him as a Monday night broadcaster, the NFL cannot say
Yes-
no.
yes, they
Hold
can.
Hold on. They can't because the NFL has the contract with the ESPN. ESPN can pull that contract out.
Yeah, but they're not going to for that money.
They would.
No, they wouldn't.
They would not. All right.
They wouldn't. The mouse would not let the NFL talk to them. that way.
Okay. All right. Next big free agent we got to talk about here, Earl Thomas. He's number 2 on the list here. All right. So Earl Thomas, obviously, there's a lot of talk. He's
Old.
potentially going to the Cowboys. He's not even yet 30. He's still a high caliber player, potential future Hall of Famer. What do you guys think Earl Thomas can potentially do?
He can walk?
Where do you think he can go?
Just
He can walk?
Just don't.
Yes, he can walk.
Just
Yes.
don't go to Dallas.
No, go to Dallas. I want to make fun of Cowboys fans. That's my favorite thing to do.
Again, another thing, ironically enough, that me and Tom both agree on is that Cowboys fans are the best to make fun of when they're miserable.
Absolutely.
Dude, even when they're in a good mood, it's fun to make fun of them because
Yeah.
you just remind them of shit.
God, they're terrible.
They are.
But no, Earl Thomas, please don't go to Dallas. You don't want to be a
So
part
where
of
do you
that
think he's
train
going to go
wreck.
there, Kevin?
49ers.
49ers, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wouldn't be the worst thing for him to do.
Yeah.
Shove it in the Seahawks face,
I
like
could
sure
see
he
him
did.
maybe going somewhere
Okay.
out east too. What about New Orleans?
Saints now.
The New Orleans do need safety help, but they're not going to pay him.
New
the amount of
Orleans
money
needs
he
help all
wants.
over the place on defense.
New Orleans needs to pay the officials.
Wow. And he is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, the wrestling video showed up.
Yeah.
Where it was like one of the wrestlers was the run-in ref.
Oh,
And it was that whole thing where they had the dubbed-in heads.
Yeah.
That just
I
popped up like
gotcha.
20 minutes ago. I was back
Okay.
there.
That's terrible. That's so bad.
No, so Earl Thomas, I mean, I didn't say anything for Le'Veon Bell, but I think potentially he could land. I think Baltimore could be a good spot for him
Be
potentially.
decent.
As far, but for
Think
Earl
the Bears could get
Thomas,
him?
who Bell or the Earl Thomas?
Earl Thomas. I'm gonna throw the Bears out for most of these guys.
Yeah.
Just so that we can get.
Here's
a
the
little
thing,
home body with them.
Adrian Amos is going to be a free agent this year, so
And they just
there's-
released Sam Acho.
yeah, so there's an opening there potentially to sign him. But now here's the thing though, he's gonna want big money, and the Bears don't have that much salary cap really sitting around.
No, but
that's
again,
that's the big thing.
Again,
so if he's
they
wi-
could sign.
but
They
if-
could do a sign and trade.
I don't know if that's a thing.
The
that
Those
he
Seahawks-
does.
those aren't as easy in the NFL.
Yeah.
No, they're not. But you could have the Seahawks sign Earl Thomas to the contract the Bears want,
Mm-hmm.
and
Except who are you going to give up for Earl Thomas?
you got Howard.
The Seahawks don't want another running back, though.
But well, they are looking for running backs though right now. That's what they've been saying. That's one of their priorities for the draft is they're looking into running backs because they're not really sold on Rashad Penny yet. That's the big thing.
I'm not
But
sold.
I don't think they would give up Howard for Thomas because Thomas is,
Well,
and again Thomas is going to want a big
Well,
deal.
Thomas also plays a position that they already have depth for. That's
Yes.
the other thing, because
Yeah.
he plays free safety, doesn't he?
He
That's
he plays
But
he
they could
plays
also-
both
but they
both
could
safety
also-
spots, but he's more of a free than he is a strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed the pumpkin. But you could also do sign and trade Acho with Howard at the same time.
But they're not going to take
Plus-
Acho though.
But hold on, they might. Acho's younger.
Yeah.
But again, that doesn't.
It
Just,
obviously doesn't make sense to us because we're looking at it that way. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm just saying. But at the same time, you got to throw
I would
different
say this,
aspects
if
at
they
it.
did that and they threw in like the 3rd round pick they have
Yeah.
this year, it could be a possibility, but still
No.
it's a hard sell because you're talking about a guy who's still considered one of the top safeties in
but
the league. So.
again, guys, Earl Thomas is a free safety. Cam Chancellor was always the strong safety.
Right.
Earl Thomas is the free. You have a guy who is a top 5 free safety right now.
So you
Right.
make him a strong safety. Those safeties can play both
No!
sides. They
Let
can play.
Eddie Jackson roam the field. Let him roam the field. He is not going to be my strong
No,
safety.
you don't make him the strong safety. You make Earl Thomas the strong safety.
Why are you going to have him do that?
Because he can do it.
All right. Here's what I'll say for Earl Thomas.
He ain't shit. Yes, I know.
I think he will. I think he will be signing probably with the Dallas Cowboys because it's the team he wants to, and obviously he gets to choose where he gets to go. I don't think he's going to help that. I don't think he's going to help that team though get to a playoff though. I think he's going to help the defense.
there's
but
no amount of talent that can
there's-
help that team.
I don't
Let's be
think
honest,
there's a
though.
way
Let's
to
be
get back to
honest,
the
though.
playoffs.
Is that league or is that division? Does anyone know who's winning that division next year?
No.
Exactly. So
It
the
should be the Cowboys.
the Cowboys are gonna do
It
it.
should be the Cowboys, but they won't.
They'll keep
because-
it close the whole season.
No, they won't, Tom, because they're the Cowboys, and they always screw it up because it's what the Cowboys do, and they've
Yeah.
done it for 30 years.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not. All right. So the next free agent we're gonna hit here is gonna be Nick Foles.
He's going to Jacksonville.
Trash.
The word is that the Jacksonville Jaguars
Trash.
are going to be signing him soon.
Trash.
Okay. Clearly, Kevin has a good opinion on this.
He's going to Jacksonville, which is a joke because Blake Bortles is a goat. Sticking with my Blake Bortles. He wasn't given a fair chance. He had no receivers around him.
Oh my God.
Okay. To be fair, he's not entirely inaccurate about that.
He had no help.
The best receiver I think he's had in his entire career has been Cecil Shorts III.
Yeah, well, the best one he
Thank
had
you.
all of
And
his
Allen
career.
Robinson for
Yeah,
one season before he blew
exactly.
out his knee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now Allen Robinson's beasting it up here.
Look, I think Blake Bortles is a decent quarterback, but as far as a starter goes, at this point,
Oh,
now,
no, starter, he's terrible.
He's a good backup. I'll give him that.
Great back.
No, he needs a new
But
system.
I don't think it's gonna fix him, man. But here's the thing, though. I'm gonna say this: Nick Foles, if he does sign with Jacksonville, this
Not-
isn't gonna solve the problem for them.
No.
They need to go with a young quarterback, draft a young guy, and start over
Well, you
again.
know, that makes
because
so much
here's what
sense.
they need to do.
taking-
Here, hold on. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
You draft a young quarterback.
okay.
Say they somehow pull off
Bridge?
Kyler Murray. Or
Yeah, no, are you gonna have like a bridge? Like would Nick Foles just be like a bridge quarterback or something like that? He plays for like a year or two, and
no,
then
he plays for longer than that.
Okay.
He almost.
So he is the mentor. Is that
yeah,
what you're saying?
he's more of because we've seen what Nick Foles can do.
Yeah.
Nick Foles isn't a terrible quarterback, which I've people
Well, he's-
know me.
he's
I'm
never
pretty
been
sure I
a-
said that at
he's
once.
never
as
been
a
a terrible
starter,
quarterback.
he has not been good. By his numbers as a starter,
yes.
he's not been good.
Yeah.
But if he's in the right system, obviously I don't think Jacksonville's the right system for
No.
him.
Realistically, no.
But
Yeah.
I also think the Eagles are idiots. But I think all of Philadelphia sports are jokes right now. So it's
Big
whatever.
Well,
facts.
you just leave Philly and you just start slamming them, don't
Dude.
you?
Bunch of animals.
It's fine, man.
I mean, he's also not wrong considering that the Philadelphia Eagles fans decide that when they win the Super Bowl,
True.
it's a great opportunity to
Eat horse
to,
poop.
to burn cars, flip them over, burn down half the city of Philadelphia,
Yeah.
and decide to loot and rob every store
And
within,
eat horse
within a
poop.
12-block radius.
yeah, right.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
They ate horse poop. You didn't see
Yeah.
that video? Dude, it's all over Barstool.
I'm not even gonna jump into that. All right, so is there anywhere else? So what do you guys think? So Nick Foles, is that a unanimous that he's gonna be out?
And where the hell else is he going to go?
Yeah. Okay.
There's literally no other team you could go to unless you want to take your chances in Tampa Bay. Which, in
I
all
wouldn't.
honesty, he wouldn't be any worse than Jameis Winston, because Jameis Winston's not looking too good right about now, boys.
Yeah, there's a lot that can go wrong with this situation.
Still
all right,
trash
so
either
now that I can
way.
get my laptop back from Tom.
Whoa, I
thank
had
you.
one set up.
What? What were you gonna? Which one?
Oh, God.
No, scroll.
Oh, God,
thank
jeez.
you.
I'll let him-
Next.
All right, so the next one I had on here, which the next one I had on here was going to be. Oh my God, because he's scrolling now. I completely lost my spot.
I had. Oh,
All right, well,
Here.
get back to the top so I can look back at it.
Here, I got you.
Jeez. All right, so the next one I had was Landon Collins. Now, Landon Collins has been talked about for a lot of
Yeah,
teams.
I saw he just got released, too.
Yeah,
Or,
they said. Well, the
just up
Giants
for
said they
agency.
won't franchise tag him,
Which they
so-
should.
which they should have, but they haven't. The time has passed, so now they've let that one walk. So now there's an opportunity for them to potentially sign Landon Collins here in Chicago. There's also been talks he could potentially sign with Oakland. There's also talk Green Bay. There's
we
so
don't
many
need to
different
sign
teams.
anybody
Collins,
right now.
Is Collins a corner or a safety?
Collins is a strong safety. So he's the position that Adrian Amos is, and he would be a good. He'd be the best replacement you could have for.
Are they
Amos.
still has Amos officially hit free agency yet, or are they still in talks with him?
So right now, he and Bryce Callahan are the two guys that are going to be hitting free agency. It looks like right now.
Between two of them,
And-
I'd let Bryce Callahan
And
walk.
although Callahan says
Sam
he's willing to
Acho.
talk, well, and Sam Acho, but they've released him. But Bryce Callahan has said that he's going to talk to the Bears and try to renegotiate out a deal so that he can get paid, and also that the Bears can have a good deal in their hands. Because obviously he's one of the best, nickel
Nickels.
cornerbacks out there right now, and I certainly think you have to sign him. He's a great asset. But if you can get a guy like Landon Collins too, I mean, try to explain that to him and let him know. Because it's a linebacker-sized safety
To
that
be
plays.
honest, so are you going to take Landon Collins, or would you re-sign Adrian Amos?
Amos.
Exactly.
Why would you mess with the defense too much?
Exactly. So guess what, guys? If it's between the two of them, I would let Callahan walk before Adrian Amos.
Like if this was like last year,
Yeah.
then yeah, I'm going after Landon Collins any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm talking about like Landon Collins is not even in the picture right now.
No, I'm saying
If
that's
you're
what
the
I'm-
Bears and you can only re-sign one of them, Amos or Callahan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, out of those two.
Because it's a tough sell because both are very impactful.
I would take Amos, and the reason why is because that was the whole thing is that we saw it in the second Green Bay game, with Sheriff McManus when he had to step in because that was after Bryce Callahan got hurt.
Yeah.
Rodgers and the Packers threw at him 3 times in the goal down at the goal line, and every single time he came up big.
All right.
Sheriff McManus, I didn't see that much of a drop off.
Yeah.
There was next to no drop-off between him and Callahan. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Bryce Callahan because Bryce Callahan had a fantastic season up until he got hurt.
Yeah.
But if it's between the two of them, I'm going to take Amos because for the last 2 years, Pro Football Focus has rated him as one of the best players at his position in the entire league.
Yeah. No, it's definitely tough. I mean, I would probably have to say Amos over Callahan just because when it comes to nickel corners, you can always find another one. As good as Callahan is, I mean, if he wants to go and get paid by another team that's willing to shell out more money, by all means, let him go. I mean, it's not going to hurt us in any way because I think we have guys in the right situation to make it work. So, but I mean, there's a ton of free agents out here right now.
I have one.
Certainly, which one is that? This is going to have to be the last one before we move on to the game.
Is Steven Gostowski.
Oh, for God's sake.
No, but hear me out. The Bears need a kicker right now.
So what happened to your boy Justin Yoon?
Dude, I still want them to draft him, but free agency.
We're not going to draft a kicker, Tom.
Why not?
not
I'm not
happen.
saying in the first round. I've always said
We don't have a first-round pick.
All right, but that's what I'm saying. We're not going to trade up to get him in the second round or whatever like that. We'll get him later in the draft if he's there. I would like to see him get it because my whole philosophy is he can kick in the cold, and that's my whole thing with Gostowski is he can kick in the cold because kickers who've only kicked in the south in the warm weather don't do well up here in Chicago. And it's a proven fact.
As long as he's willing to come here for cheap because he's an old bird, I'll take it, man.
I mean, I know
That's
his
all
numbers.
I know.
He hasn't been quite reliable, but he's obviously better than Parkey. He's a 6-time Super Bowl participant, and he's an asset kickoff guy on kickoffs.
That's fair. That's fair to say. All right.
I'm just saying, if we can get him for cheap, do you think the Bears should go after him after the 49ers said,
Like I
no,
said,
you're not allowed to take ours?
I'm willing to take a veteran kicker as long as he's coming here for the right amount of cash.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing is I'm always sold on it as long as it's for the right amount of cash. All right. So next we got our fun little game here called Cash In, Cash Out. It's the game that me and Kevin have played before.
Yep.
We did this with the NCAA basketball, and now we're going to do it with a little bit of NFL here. So these are potential trade scenarios that could go down.
Okay.
And I'm going to pitch it to him, and you guys cash in if you like it or cash out if you don't like
Let's
it.
do
all right?
it. Don't forget to play along at home, everybody.
Absolutely.
Let us know if
what
you
you
guys
guys
cash in or
think.
cash out in the comments.
All right, the first one we're going to hit, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Arizona Cardinals acquire A.J. Green for a second-round pick. What do you guys think?
Cash out.
Cash out on
Why
that?
the hell is Cincinnati going to give up A.J. Green, one of the, I'd say, not top, you know what? I'll say top 5.
Top 10.
All right, yeah, you know what? Top 10's better.
He's literally like just 6.
No, why are you going to give him up for a second-round pick? No.
Okay.
Cash out.
All right, what do you
No
think?
way. Not
Cash
for a
out?
second round.
Okay.
First round, like first and a third.
If
then
it was
yes.
Here's-
hold on, if it was
Okay.
a second and
like a fourth
and a fourth or a second
and a third.
a second this year and a second next
Yeah.
year, then
Oh,
maybe.
then I would do it.
Here's
Yeah.
what I'm going to pitch to you guys now. If word has gotten out now with the Arizona Cardinals obviously putting Josh Rosen on the trade block,
Dummies.
however that's going to go is whatever they're going to do.
They're
Now
idiots.
here's my pitch. They send Josh Rosen and like a second-round pick to the Cincinnati Bengals for A.J. Green. And maybe like a 4th or a 5th-round pick, however they want to give that up.
Well,
you know
I guess,
what I mean?
I guess at that point, have you given up on Andy Dalton completely?
Well, that's the theory is that in this universe where they're making
even have a
potential
coach yet?
trades, Andy Dalton is like getting traded away.
Wait, do the
So,
Bengals even have a coach yet?
They do. I don't remember his name because he's not really a big name, I don't think. But yes, they have a coach.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's my theory is that
Except-
if Josh Rosen is on the block, he's already projected to be better than Andy Dalton, and he didn't even have that great of a season. But
Well, he didn't
if you
have
send,
that much of a season. Didn't he get hurt?
well, no, he only played like half of the season.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So-
He was
Okay,
you don't really know
except
what
at
he's
the
like through
same
the full
time,
season.
Josh Rosen's just going from one shitty situation to the other because he goes from a team that has no offense to a team that has basically traded away their only offensive weapon other than Joe Mixon.
Yeah, to me, it's just like if
I don't know
if
if I
the
would do
Bengals
it.
are looking for a quarterback,
Yeah.
I'm just I would throw it to them if I
I'm not
were
gonna
them.
I'm not gonna bring myself a quarterback and then give him no one to throw the ball to.
Yeah,
Unless you draft someone, though.
That's
Except you're relying on the Bengals to.
I know.
You're relying on the Bengals to draft someone who
It's almost
hasn't.
like
who
it's almost like relying on the Cowboys to actually win a game.
Well, you didn't let me finish.
Oh,
I was
sorry,
gonna make
sorry,
a joke
sorry,
out of it.
sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead.
You didn't.
Now
I'm
you
sorry,
destroyed
I'm
the
sorry.
punchline.
You have to rely on the Bengals to not draft someone who's going to end up leading the league in arrests.
I thought that was the Cowboys.
No, it was the
organization.
Titans that did that.
No.
No, Titans took Adam Pac-Man Jones.
No, not Adam Pac-Man Jones. Remember Delta O'Neal.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he led the NFL in arrests. Or he has the record now. Excuse me.
God, they both ruined it.
Sorry.
So we're back. Yay!
All right, next.
All right, next. LaShawn McCoy is traded to the Indianapolis Colts for a 7th-round pick in order for the Bills to make salary cap space.
No. Cash out.
Cash out on that?
Are you kidding me? A 7th-round pick?
Taking it.
You might as well just put him in a UPS box, just sign, seal, and deliver him for free at that point.
Remember this, though. He is 31 years old, and his numbers have been dropping more
Yeah,
and more.
he's
throughout the
terrible fantasy-wise too.
years. What do you say, Tom? Cash
Taking
in,
the deal.
cash out?
Taking the deal.
So you cashing in on that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Cool, man. Cool. All right. Next one.
Oh.
This is going to be a fun one, and I think everybody's going to be in agreement on this. Vic Beasley is traded to the Chicago Bears in exchange for that 3rd-round pick we hold this year. Cash in or cash out on that. Now, the word is that we need a little help with the pass rush. He's 27 years old,
Cash
and
out.
he has
Yeah, I'm not taking that deal.
$12.8 million cap
Wait.
hit.
What do you mean we need help
Yeah.
on the pass rush?
The word,
Jesus.
the word is that we need some help on the pass rush.
No, we don't. We don't, because guess
Who's
what?
saying this?
You
Who's
got-
saying this? I
you
want to
got
know.
Khalil
Is it Skip
Mack-
Bayless?
you got
Is it
Khalil-
Skip Bayless?
Guess what? You got Khalil Mack on one side, and then guess what? You got to double team him.
Right.
If you get him blocked, then you have Akeem Hicks from the 3 technique. If you
Right.
get both of those two blocked, then
Somehow.
you have Leonard Floyd, who I don't care what anybody says, guys. Leonard Floyd took a giant step forward because he was all over the place last year.
Because Khalil Mack was there.
Yes, because Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks. Oh, and if you get all 3 of them blocked, then you got what's the other guy's name?
Eddie Goldman.
And then you got Eddie Goldman.
Welcome.
And if somehow you get the entire front 4 blocked, then you have these guys called Danny Trevathan and Roquan Smith and Eddie Jackson.
I'm on his
and
side.
Adrian Amos.
I'm in agreement
so
with
whoever
him.
the fuck is saying that the Bears need help with the pass rush? You're either blind, lying, stupid, or fucking lying.
All right, moving on.
I like this. I'm glad I came back today. This is a good day.
All right.
I agree. I'm not taking that deal.
All right, cool. I wouldn't really just I threw it out there because
Wait, but is this Skip Bayless saying this? Because that man's an idiot anyway.
No.
Skip.
Skip, how your Packers doing?
the reason for this was because it was adding a 3rd down pass rusher.
Why touch that defense?
So that's what they threw out there as a suggestion, man. These are trade scenarios.
Why
that they're
touch the
putting out
defense
there.
at all?
Why?
All right. So next, and this is going to be a big one too. The Detroit Lions unload Matthew Stafford to any team looking for a quarterback right
Arizona.
now. Cash in or cash out?
Arizona. For Rosen.
So you cash in on that to Arizona? What are you thinking?
Straight up.
I mean, I would take it because then you'd at least get his salary off the books.
Okay.
You get
But
a
if you
salary
al-
off
but if
the
you
books,
also
and you
trade
get a
away-
young quarterback
But
that
if you
you can
trade
mold with
away
a new
Matt Stafford, you literally have no other reason as a Lions fan to even go to the game.
Well, that's fine. Detroit's a terrible town anyways. They suck.
Stop bashing cities.
I'm back, baby.
Jesus.
Philly sucks. Detroit sucks. It's just in my blood.
I mean, okay, Detroit sucks. Yes, that's been established here on this show.
Yeah.
That's been established.
clearly.
Absolutely. All right. So next, Jalen Ramsey is either traded to the Kansas City Chiefs or the Seattle Seahawks or the Oakland Raiders.
Oh,
Bro, he's not going to Oakland.
Cash in or cash out on
I
which
could,
of those?
that would definitely be a John Gruden move.
It would be.
But you know what?
What was the first team?
It's Kansas
Chiefs.
City, Seattle Seahawks, or Oakland Raiders.
I would like him on the Chiefs.
Can I
Cash in or
change
cash out
that
on
a
those?
little bit?
I would like him on
I
the
want to throw
Chiefs.
another team in there.
Which
Oh,
is?
boy.
Wait, you said the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Chiefs.
Sorry.
I would
Chiefs.
love him on
Yeah,
the Chiefs.
yeah, the
Seahawks,
Chiefs. Sorry.
yeah.
I thought you said Chargers for a second.
No, no. Chargers
yeah.
are good with that. What are you thinking as
I'm
far as
thinking
team-wise?
Chiefs.
I'm cashing in.
I
on
would
the
go
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
But it's got to be a second round this year and a second round next year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll get through the rest of these real quick because these are going to be big time names. Todd Gurley is traded from this. Oh my God, I almost said St. Louis Rams. Los Angeles Rams for a late first round pick to the Raiders. Cash in or cash out on that?
Why are you trading your running back?
That guys.
Because there's a big question if Los Angeles is actually going to go all in on Gurley since it's a passing.
Don't take that deal. Are you crazy?
Are you kidding? Guys, we saw what happened in the Super Bowl when Todd Gurley was taken out of the game. We saw against the Bears what happened when Todd Gurley couldn't get going. Their offense was garbage. He is that offense. It doesn't matter who
Just
they
like
have,
Ezekiel
It
Elliott.
doesn't matter who they have throwing the ball. Doesn't matter who they have catching the ball or calling the plays.
It's just like Elliott.
Exactly. The Cowboys figured it
God,
out
and we
way
hate the
too
Cowboys.
late. And yes, I'm even giving them credit, and I hate the Cowboys. But that is the exact same person. If you get rid of Todd Gurley, you set your team back another 5-6 years, easy.
Okay.
Cash the fuck out.
All right.
I'm
all
out of
right.
that deal.
All right. So here's another big one, and this is going to involve Mr. Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, Alan Crabb?
Alan Crabb. He does look a lot like him. He really does.
Where do you got him going?
All right. So there's two potential places he could go.
All right.
So cash in
The
or cash
Raiders.
out on one of these two. They trade. Odell Beckham Jr. is traded to the Raiders in exchange for 2 first-round picks in this year's draft, or
Like they don't have enough.
the Jets trade for Odell Beckham Jr. with the number 3 overall pick.
Oh.
Which one do you cash in and which one do you cash out on?
Do you know what? I could see the Jets trying to pull something like. I could see them doing like a first this year, a third this year, and then maybe like another pick next year.
Hold on. Could you imagine the Jets get Odell and
Le'Veon
get
Bell?
Bell? Yeah.
I'll cash in on the one with the Jets. I'll cash
Yeah.
out on the As much as I could definitely see the Raiders doing that.
Yeah.
They don't have. What pick are they getting? Or what pick do they have?
Right
have a
now,
couple.
Right now
No,
they
they
have
have the
a-
Bears.
What's their first one?
Because they had the Bears one, and then they have their own pick.
What's
they
their
have the
first one?
4th overall pick, I believe.
Dude,
4th or 5th overall pick.
The Giants would take the 3rd overall over the 4th.
Yeah. So, all right. So it's a cash in on the Jets pick.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll cash in on the Jets.
All right,
All
cool.
right, who's next?
All right, the last one. It's the big one, baby. It's the
Mr. Big
one-
Chest.
It's the man who right now is sporting a nice blonde mustache from now. It's Antonio Brown.
God,
Now-
that mustache is ugly as hell.
It's one that we've talked about. It's one that everybody's kind of been throwing out there.
I have a random one.
Antonio
Oh,
Brown is traded to the 49ers. Cash in or cash out on that. Obviously, there's a lot of talk on where he's going to go. There's a lot of
Cash
speculation
out.
he's going to the 49ers. So you say cash out on that?
Yeah, because what the hell do the Niners have that the Steelers want?
Okay.
I know,
Alright.
and I know this. You're gonna say the same thing. I'm definitely cashing out of that one. I don't want that deal at all.
Okay.
But is there a universe or a reality?
Please don't say the Bears.
I'm gonna say the Bears, but let me hear this out. Is there a way the Bears could somehow pull that off?
That would probably have to require.
Because he has hinted that he would like to come play in a bigger market.
You're gonna have to get rid of some of the best players on your
But
defense.
that's well. Not only that, but you're gonna have to you're gonna have to rework Khalil Mack's contract, which I don't know if he's willing to do.
I
then
understand.
You're
It's
gonna
gonna
probably
take a
have
lot.
to. You're gonna probably have to trade Allen Robinson because that's a big contract there too.
I understand there's a lot there that you're not going to be able to get away with.
I'll cash. No.
But if it came and it was structured the way you would think, not that way, but it's like we don't have a first round draft pick for the next 12 years.
No.
But to get Antonio Brown and win 2 Super Bowls,
Here's the
you
problem.
wouldn't do that.
Here's the problem though, is that when you look at Antonio Brown's numbers, he has 10,000
Suffered
yards.
without Big Ben.
Yeah,
His
he's
numbers
had
have
he's had 10,000 yards
drastically
with
been different
70
without Big Ben.
touchdowns with Big Ben.
And I get that.
And only 500 yards with no touchdowns when it's not Big Ben throwing the ball. Obviously, Trubisky has
It's a lot smaller-
talent.
and it's a lot smaller of a sample size without Big Ben.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is guys, I brought this up on my morning show yesterday that I agree with Larry Fitzgerald because did you guys see Larry Fitzgerald's comments on Antonio Brown's situation? Basically, it can be summed up like this: that he does. I don't think he said, "quote I don't think he understands how good he has it."
Yeah.
Because regardless of how you feel about the rest of the organization, the coach, Big Ben as a person, I mean, this isn't the first person to say that Big Ben's not the nicest guy in the
No,
world.
he's not.
But that aside,
Right.
that's a Hall of Fame quarterback that's been slinging you the ball the entire career. And if anybody knows what it feels like to be great with subpar quarterbacks at best, with the exception of Carson Palmer and Kurt Warner,
Yeah.
is Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald would have killed to be. I would probably trade most of his career to have a quarterback like Big Ben throwing in the ball.
All right, here's another one I actually just thought about.
All right.
What about sticking it to Pittsburgh and going to the dog pound?
You mean siding with the
Browns?
Browns?
Yes.
Wait, who?
Here's the
Who?
thing-
Antonio
Antonio
Brown.
Brown.
Except
Here-
he's under contract. He can't
Yeah.
do that.
Not signing with them, but like
That's
they
the-
somehow structure a trade to do it right. To
That's
get
the
Antonio
problem
Brown.
with that is that
I don't
and
think
I
it
think a
can
lot of
happen.
people think that's a good idea, but the problem is
I know
is
he can't
obviously
just sign there, but like,
Right.
what if he says, "I don't want to go anywhere, but I'm not going to play next year"?
yeah.
And
Call his bluff then. He's saying, though, he doesn't want to go to this team. He doesn't go to this team. All these teams that have
But
offered
does he
trade
not have
offers.
no trade clause? He might have a no trade clause in his contract.
I'm not sure on the
That
logistics
doesn't-
of his contract.
Well, that
but-
doesn't matter, though, because he said that he is not going to play in Pittsburgh next year.
Yeah.
So if you, as Pittsburgh, cannot find a team that's going to give you what you want, call his bluff and say, I bet you don't have the guts
He
to
doesn't
sit
need
out
the
the
money.
entire season.
He doesn't need the money. He just saw Le'Veon
Okay.
Bell do it. He just saw one of his teammates do it. He's going to do it. He's going to be like, "No."
Except the whole thing is also that Le'Veon Bell was in the last year of his contract.
I understand that.
Antonio Brown's still under contract for another 3 years. And guess what? If he wants to say that I don't need the game of football, fine. Go off and retire then. Go off and retire.
I still think he's
Keep
a
your
Hall
mouth
of Famer.
keep your mouth shut.
I mean, I think he definitely is like a Hall of Fame talent as a wide receiver goes, but they won't trade him to the Browns. They're not going to trade interleague to make that happen. There's no way they're going to help the Browns get better because if the Browns get Brown, that team's probably going. They're winning the division most likely, and they're potentially getting at least to
Browns,
the
by the
AFC
way, are a
Championship.
playoff team this year.
I'll listen to
I
that.
can see him
I'll listen
sneaking
to
in a
that.
wild card, definitely.
I can listen to
No,
that.
I think they win the division.
All right. Well, what do you guys think here about these trade scenarios? Do you guys cash in or cash out on these situations? You guys can comment down below and let us know what you guys think.
Next.
All right, real quick, because I know what he was doing. He was burning time because he hates to talk about this.
Too
I had
bad.
a good question about this, though.
Too bad
Did
we're going
you?
to anyway.
Yeah, we brought it up.
I
remember?
know.
I had a pretty good
All right.
question about this.
So now we're gonna go through this real fast, and we're gonna talk here.
NBA.
The NBA. We talked about the Eastern Conference. We're gonna talk here quick on the Western Conference, and I'm just gonna throw the question out real fast. Is this just Golden State's championship to lose? Clearly, I mean, is
Or
that what we're
Houston's.
looking at?
I mean, I still think Golden State's going to go to the championship, but I think they still got to go through Houston, and I'm still sticking to my pick that I made back in whenever, and saying that series is going to go to 7, and the Celtics are going to meet the Golden State there, and it's going to be Kyrie getting a championship for himself.
Okay, all right. Kevin, what are you thinking? Is
Guys,
this Golden State's to lose,
I
or is there more
like-
in the pat?
I like Tom's point that Golden State's not just going to be able to steamroll through the playoffs this year.
But Houston's going to be a roadblock for him.
Well, yeah, Houston's going to be a roadblock. You're forgetting another team. That's that team in the city of Oklahoma.
Yep.
Because I'm sorry, and I know the stigma on Westbrook, but that entire team has bought in. Westbrook, Paul George has been playing MVP caliber.
Yes, he has.
Steven Adams has been playing well. They have a great bench unit led by Dennis Schroeder.
Yep.
And they have statistically in all major categories the best defense in the entire league.
Yeah.
And in come playoff time, we know that's the one thing that's the biggest change when it comes to the NBA is in the playoffs. Teams all of a sudden start to play defense, and the teams that can play defense win.
Yeah.
So I would say that Golden State, I still think, is probably going to get to the finals. I don't think it's going to be Boston that they'll see, though.
Okay.
Who do you think they're going to see?
Toronto.
No.
Okay. All right.
Because
Sixers aren't getting far. The
No.
Sixers have a Celtics problem.
No, the Sixers, yes, they actually do have a Celtics problem because I think the trade they made for Jimmy Butler was the dumbest thing they did the entire season.
Yeah.
Because they got worse by getting Jimmy Butler because they got rid of the thing that they needed, which was shooting.
Yeah.
Because now they don't have a lot of shooting anymore because they traded most of it away. And also,
They have shooting, but it's missing a lot of its shots.
and also, that team is going to go as far as Ben Simmons takes them. I understand Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are going to be the two primary alpha and beta,
Yeah.
but the whole thing is that you could not have Joel Embiid and still be great.
Right.
But Ben Simmons, that team is going to go as far as Ben Simmons takes them, and right now he's not about it yet.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna pour through these really fast, and you guys can
Yep.
let me know where you think. I mean, obviously everybody's kind of made their predictions on this thing.
Yep.
Can I ask
But
my question real
I mean,
fast?
let me pour through these
All right,
fast, and
fair
then you
enough,
can.
fair
All right, so Denver Nuggets right now are predicted to finish second right now.
I'm down
in
with
the
that.
conference.
I'm down with that.
Do you think how far do you think the Nuggets can go, and how far do you out do you
I
think?
could see them
I
possibly
could
get.
see them making it to the second. Sorry, I could see them making it to second round.
Okay.
They would have to play Houston in that second round, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
yes.
if the playoffs ended today, they would have to
Yes,
play
yeah,
Houston.
would.
in the second round, not the first
Yeah.
round,
Yeah.
Kevin, what do you
because
say?
they would play Utah. So I truly think
I
Denver,
could, you know what? I could definitely see them. I think there's a scenario where they could get to the conference finals. I don't think it would. I kind of agree with Tom that they could get to the second round with relative ease.
Yeah.
But the big thing is, guys, we have to wait till next year. Because
Yeah.
next year, Michael Porter Jr. will be back in action. And
Yep.
if he is half as good in the NBA as everybody thought he was going to be, then
Denver's
the
on
rest
its
of the
way.
West is in trouble.
Oh yeah.
still gotta get through Golden State.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they still have to get through Golden
But
State, but
that's a-
also we have to see what happens with free agency if Golden State's still going to be Golden State.
Right.
That's true.
Because DeMarcus
Um,
Cousins, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant are all free agents this year.
Very true. All right, next Portland Trailblazers. How far do you think these guys are
Second
gonna go?
round at best.
Okay.
One and done.
One and done, really. Okay.
Yep.
Swept.
Second round
Oof.
at best because Portland, outside of CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard. I
What,
mean,
they-
yeah,
they would play Houston
I
the
mean,
first
they
round?
have Nurkic as well, but
They would beat Houston in the first round.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, because right
They
now
would.
Golden State would play San Antonio, Denver
Yep.
would play the Clippers,
Oh, yep.
OKC would play Utah, and Portland would play Houston.
Yeah.
Yep.
Portland gets swept by Houston.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't out Houston.
So
The
Houston,
beard.
we've
Really,
already,
let's just be it's the beard.
so Houston, we've already kind of covered. You're saying
Possible conference
Western
finals.
Conference championships,
Yeah.
Western Conference championships.
Yep,
as
possible
well?
conference finals.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. Oklahoma City. What are we feeling on that?
I could see them getting to the conference finals.
Okay.
At the very earliest, they would exit. I'd say Game 6, Game 7 in the second round at the very earliest.
Yeah, to Golden State.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they would definitely take it to Game 6, Game 7 against Golden State.
Okay. All right. Tom, what are you saying? So you're saying conference championship?
I think
or-
they're going. I go 7 against Utah. I think that series would go 7.
Okay.
I'll get into why in a
And
second.
then I'm gonna just list them because they're the last three out there: Utah Jazz, Los Angeles Clippers, San Antonio Spurs. Do
No,
those guys have any chance of getting out of
Utah,
first?
I think could against Oklahoma because
I
it's
agree.
Utah. They're just a stingy team.
They have upset Oklahoma
Oh,
before.
wait.
They did it last year.
The Clippers
So-
are getting swept in 4. If
Probably.
it could be 1, they should just
They
not play
might
the
steal
rest.
one game.
Maybe. And it's the Spurs. I know they're playing Golden State. I know they're the 8th seed. I know they're not the Spurs of the old days.
Don't sleep on them.
But still, don't sleep on the
It's
Spurs.
Pop.
It's the Spurs.
Never sleep on Pop,
So-
man.
Don't sleep on them.
So yeah, that one would be a watch out.
All right, Tom. Now I think it's time for you to ask
Yes.
your
All right.
Ask
question.
your question, man.
So it has to do with the West. They're not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But it
Won't
has
be.
to do with LeBron James
Brian
And more,
James.
and more of Cristiano Ronaldo, seeing that Real Madrid just got embarrassed
Trashed.
by Ajax 4-1 yesterday, and now
Yes.
are eliminated by the Champions League.
That's a shame.
Is Ronaldo LeBron James or LeBron James the Ronaldo of Europeans, like of their respective sports? In the sense, hold on, in the sense of Ronaldo went from Real Madrid and winning 3 Champions League trophies and being a
Yep.
dominant force in La Liga to Juventus, an Italian A, I believe it is.
Serie
Or
A.
Yeah,
Serie-
it's Serie
Serie
A.
Wait,
A.
what? Oh yeah, that's right. Juventus is in Italy.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was in
I-
Greece for some
Yeah, I
reason.
know. I lose it in Italy and Greece on certain places. but
Europe, we don't live there.
wish.
So to there, and Juventus isn't doing really well. I don't
Yeah.
think they're any deeper in
No.
Champions League. I think they got eliminated earlier.
Yep.
After getting eliminated last year by Real Madrid, and at the same time, Real Madrid looks terrible.
Trash.
Or bottom of the league, I think, or
Trash.
close to.
I'm not sure about league play, but I do know for the Champions League, both Juventus and Real Madrid have 4 wins, but they have 2 losses, I think.
And they're both out.
yeah.
But on the same side with the LeBron, he goes from the Cavs, where he was dominant, great, winning
Right.
or in championships at least, and in big moments and have chance to win those games, to the Lakers not going to be a playoff team, not doing anything, not winning a title, another title, I don't think, in his career.
Yeah.
And the Cavs are just god-awful.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, is that a safe comparison?
No, it is. I mean, I would say that I think Ronaldo is. I will say I think LeBron is more Ronaldo because Ronaldo left Juventus to kind of go discover more.
You mean
competition?
Real.
He left Real Madrid to go to Juventus,
But he did the
to get
same-
more competition
he
and to
did
get a
the-
different feel.
But you were in the same league
no,
with
he
Messi.
didn't. No, he didn't.
He did not like.
He
He did
didn't-
not like ownership in Real.
Guys,
Yeah.
guys, he didn't leave the Spanish league for
He was forced
competition.
out.
He left La Liga to avoid that tax scandal.
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
That's why he
He was
left.
forced out.
Yeah, he was basically
Yeah.
forced out because apparently, the man didn't pay his taxes, which ask Al Capone how well that goes for you.
right.
That's
Yeah.
Lionel Messi. He was gonna not go to prison anyways. Messi didn't go to prison. He got a 20-day. He was supposed to serve
Neither
20
did
days.
Neymar. I mean, it's amazing how these guys can have tax scandals and yet they avoid it. But
And
So-
yeah, if I have a tax scandal, I have to go to prison.
So,
right, yeah.
guys, I will say I agree with Ton's point though that what have the teams that LeBron has been on that he has left really done since he left? So
Nothing.
Cleveland the first, and let's go way back in the time machine.
Cleveland wasn't terrible though when he left because they got Kyrie.
Except
they weren't
that,
great. They weren't great.
That team was still bad.
Yes, that's. I'm not saying that they were. But what I'm saying is that's almost like Man City
Right.
or Man U when Ronaldo left Man U.
Okay. You know what?
Don't get him started. We don't have that
No.
kind of time.
No.
Oh, is he a Man U fan?
He's
no.
a Premier League fan.
I like Tottenham.
No.
I like Tottenham.
Man,
I like the Spurs.
get out of here.
All right.
Anyway.
We don't have time for
Anyway,
that. No.
so Cleveland will be in agreement, was pretty bad.
Pretty bad. Yeah,
After
I'm
he
not saying
left-
they were
after he
great.
left and went to Miami.
But I'm just
You know,
saying
he teams up with
whatever.
Dwayne
Yeah.
Wade and Bosch, do their stuff in Miami. He leaves, goes back to Cleveland. Miami, I mean, yeah, they've had some nice players, but they really haven't done a whole hell of a lot since then. Goes to Cleveland, Kyrie's already there.
Right.
Brings in Kevin Love,
Yep.
trades away Andrew Wiggins, brings all these other guys, like your J.R. Smiths and Kyle Korvers, etc. They win a championship, leaves. Cleveland instantly goes from probably second best team in the league to worst team in the league outside of maybe Phoenix.
And I think the
And probably the
Hawks-
Knicks.
The Hawks.
Oh yeah, and the Hawks. Forgot
Yeah.
about them, but of course they're also irrelevant.
Right.
Now he goes to LA, a team that was relatively
Up
up
and
and coming.
coming, yeah.
They had 4 really, really talented players. Now, obviously, you're gonna have to take time for them to fit into the system and stuff like that. But you had 4 really talented players.
Yeah.
And then LeBron James strolls in, brings in all these veterans like Michael Beasley, Rajon Rondo, Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, Tyson Chandler to a lesser. I mean, I know Tyson Chandler just got signed within the last month.
Yeah.
But still. So
and,
now,
then there's video of him getting pushed by Rondo, I think it was.
no, it
No.
was Kuzma because
Kyle
LeBron.
Kuzma
Because
shoved him.
LeBron James. I'm talking to you, LeBron. This is the second time I'm calling you out this week. I understand you don't like the effort that a lot of these guys are putting in. And admittedly, I'll say it sucks. But the fact of the matter is, when you have videos of you standing there yelling at everybody else out there not playing defense, and you have the nerve to call out all these other guys on your team when you and the organization publicly said these 4 dudes who are named Hart, Ball, Kuzma, and Ingram are not going to be here because you wanted Anthony Davis. You have the nerve to question their effort and say that their effort sucks when you stopped playing defense 3 years ago. Sit the hell down, take your money, and retire. Because nobody else in the league gives a shit about you anymore. ESPN is going to burn to the ground the day LeBron James retires, guys.
I thought they were gonna do that when
Because that's
Peyton
going to
Manning
take away
retired.
75% of their content. And I can't wait.
No, let's still talk about LeBron.
We'll talk about his son
I
most
rest my
likely.
fucking case.
There you go.
Not until next week.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, what do you guys think about the whole NBA West Conference situation? You guys can let us know in the comment section down below. So to finish this one off, we're going to do the real quick, what would you do if you were in this situation? I came up with a few scenarios for us. here.
Scenarios.
Really? We're going to start this now?
See,
came
Art
out with
thinks
a
I'm
few
right.
situations. I don't want to hear from him. He's in the back room. So here's a few situations. You guys can let me know what would you do real quick. All right. So the first, what would you do? What would you do if you were served fast food at the White House?
Eat it. It's already happened. Clemson ate it. The lineman loved it. And I'm getting served at the White House. It's free McDonald's.
I'm getting free food. I'm
Yeah,
not in no position to deny free food. And guess what? Also,
Yeah.
if you're guys, real quick, if you're President Trump, if you did that for the Division I FBS College Football National Champions, you actually give the FCS Division I AA National Champions an actual
Meal?
actual
They
prepared
got
meal. What does that
Chick-fil-A.
say?
They got Chick-fil-A
Jesus chicken.
instead.
Jesus chicken.
Jesus. Yes, they got.
Except did Clemson go on a Sunday? Because if they went on a Sunday, then they wouldn't have had the option to get
No,
Chick-fil-A.
they went
I
on a
don't know
Monday.
about
They
that
went on
one.
like a Tuesday or Thursday.
I don't know.
Well, you
about
know what?
that.
I don't. Just take the damn food and shut up.
It's all those liberals.
I just yeah. All right.
Damn.
All right. Next, what would you do if you were trapped in your car for 4 days?
was
This
5
man
days.
was it 5 days?
Yeah, it was 5
With his
days.
So
dog.
man was trapped in his car for apparently
his
5 days
doggo.
with his dog. Survived by eating taco sauce.
That's a
What would
lie.
you-
Because you don't get enough sauces from any of those places.
Okay, I mean, realistically, Andrew, it's
Yeah.
really not because guess what? You got water all around you.
All right.
So I mean, you can.
But he was
survive-
trapped in his car. That might not have meant he could have opened the door.
But he can roll down.
You
the
can roll down
window.
the window. I mean, yeah, a ton of
But
snow's gonna come in.
depending
But
on if he's hurt, he's trapped on the side of the road. You don't know if he's hurt or not.
Yeah.
He
Fair.
might have only been. He might have only had enough strength to open up those packets. And
So if
I
I-
thought it
so-
was only 2, so he's pushing that.
so if
that
I was
shit out.
so if I were
Good for
trapped in a
him.
car for 4 days, well, first of all, I mean, if I had cell phone service, then well, you know, there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't give enough sauce at those places. Am I wrong?
No, you're
Am
not.
I
You're
wrong?
not
You get
wrong.
like
Yeah,
2
you-
packets.
Yeah.
You're not wrong about that.
All right. Next.
Next.
What would you do if you were a player in a non-action sport that got suspended? If you guys don't know, the world's #1 bridge player, Geir Helgemo, I don't know how to say his last name, was
Where's he from?
banned. He was from Norwegia.
Yeah, who cares?
He
it's
was banned.
Norway.
Norway. thanks.
That's the freaking cruise line.
Hi, how you doing, everybody?
Jesus.
He was banned from playing bridge for life after he was caught failing a drug test.
Wait,
What drug was he taking?
Wait,
doping.
hold
Okay,
on.
but how do you have performance-enhancing drugs in a card game?
Okay, hold on.
He was using synthetic testosterone and a female fertility drug at the competition last year.
What the fuck is it?
Don't ask me, man. This is a real story. This is a real story.
All right, the sport I'm
From
going to
Sky
is
News.
I'm going competitive Monopoly.
Wait, hold on. How can you ban someone for playing a card game for the rest of their lives?
I don't
What
know.
are you literally just gonna have wherever this
But
man
I
goes?
can
Someone
understand-
from the
what?
International Bridge Committee just standing. You better not be playing bridge. You better be playing 5-card stud, you motherfucker.
I can understand it if he was had cards up his sleeves.
Yeah.
And he was doing something. But for taking a drug, come on! I'm playing Monopoly,
All right. And finally,
How is that not an Olympic sport?
dude. I don't know.
right.
Why is dodgeball not an Olympic
all right,
sport?
all right, everybody calm
That's
down.
actually
Jeez.
facts.
So loud in here with you two.
Or lacrosse.
All right. What would you do if
We
you
would
could?
destroy everybody.
Damn sure.
Ready?
Canada.
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
All right, last
maybe.
one is, what would you do if you could not pay a Super Bowl payout? This comes from a story that says police arrested a man for faking his own kidnapping after failed attempt at rigging a Super Bowl squares contest where he was supposed to pay back $50,000.
I'm just gonna go move overseas to Russia, Serbia. Ain't gonna fucking find me there.
Yeah, I mean, no, Andrew, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just go all out and fake your own death at that point.
You would think, but apparently, yeah, this man faked his
But-
own kidnapping.
Okay, and then second of all, why the hell are you putting up a bet that's you're gonna bet $50,000 on the Super Bowl? Cause why would you bet against the GOAT? Why are you betting against the GOAT?
All right. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm going to Serbia. They're not gonna find me there. You think Russia's gonna
Why
allow me?
Serbia?
Because no one goes to Serbia.
My ears hurt.
Good luck
All right.
finding me in Serbia.
All right, enough with you two, jeez. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that has been the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. Kevin, where can they find you, man?
You guys can go follow me on Twitter at Kevin B the Gamer. Give me a follow over on Instagram at @the_Berg Squad. It will come up as K $. Yes, that is a play on words. You can also see me and the Respawn Cat herself on Tuesdays and Fridays on the Respawn Cast, which you can give us a follow on the Facebook page under the same name, and also give us a follow on Twitch. This Friday, guys, we will be journeying to the world of Spira and play Final Fantasy X for Kat's first introduction to Final Fantasy X.
I thought you meant Spyro and just said it wrong to make fun of Andrew's pronunciation of words.
No.
No, only you do that, Tom.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Forgot.
Well, obviously you don't have a lower third, Tom, but where can they find you?
Everybody knows where they can find me. It's at McLovin6193 where I'm ripping Barstool Chicago because those guys are a bunch of idiots. And same with Barstool Chief. God, I hate Chief so much. You guys see Chief walking down the streets, just smack him in the face for me because he's an idiot.
Why don't you do it?
Because I don't know where he's at. I never find him.
So why
And the fact that Feidelberg was outside chained to the statue at Guaranteed Rate Field yesterday. What an idiot, God.
All
but yeah,
right.
McLovin6193, you can follow me on at Instagram, same place, and wherever Andrew's main XBomb Instagram page
Yeah,
is.
you okay
Yeah.
there? Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure to go check out the Respawn Cast. Again, they're doing some great work over there. We're going to have some posts up there here
Video game
very
talk.
soon. Also, make sure to go check out Putting Up Points. They're going to be up there very soon as well.
Yeah, dude.
Was that
Yeah,
you?
he threw
Yeah.
his paper because.
Mine's over there.
Yeah, dude, I always throw mine at the TV.
So you guys can find me on Twitter at the Fluffy Guru. Find me on Instagram at the Boom Crew Captain. Find XBomb Sports at XBomb Sports on Twitter and on Instagram as well.
Subscribe to the YouTube page.
Make sure to go subscribe to the YouTube page, like Kevin said.
And hit the bell icon so that way whenever we go live or put up any videos, guys, you'll get notified and you can watch it immediately as it happens.
Joke's on you.
Absolutely.
Usually that happens once you subscribe.
Yeah. Shut up, Tom.
No, we don't have to hit the bell. That's one less step for them to
Art's
do.
not even in here, and I gotta tell you to shut up. See how this
It
works?
doesn't roll off the tongue. Shut
Yes,
up,
it
Art.
does. Shut up, Tom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been our crazy ass show here. Be back with us next Wednesday here on the X1 Sports Live Show.
Hockey
Much
talk.
love, peace, much love, peace out, everybody.
It's so good to be back.